Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 2021 MAAC Championships. I am your host and caster, Waffles for Sid, and joining me today is Prepaid, when we are going to be bringing you the last and final semifinals match of Overwatch this afternoon. Now, Prepaid, we're going to see Quinnipiac go up against St. Peter's University, so a lot of the line here looking to qualify for that EGFC League Championships coming up.
Yeah.
What do you think might be coming out from these teams?
I've been seeing a lot of meta, a lot of double bubble, but since we're gonna probably be starting out on Lijiang Tower here, I'm expecting a lot more brawly style competition. A lot of Reinhardt, maybe a little bit, a lot of Zarya, and then maybe a little bit of Lucio. Just the average brawl comp, really. And I can't wait to see how they handle. Maybe if a Pharah comes out, I always enjoy, especially on bridges, is when the Pharah comes out and gets those boops off. But if we're starting on night market, then we'll probably won't see too much Pharah. We could, and we are starting on night market, so it's even better.
There you go. Ask and you shall receive, as it's been prophesized there. We might see that sim come out as well. You know, a quick TP up there to the top and drop down. Not sure what these guys are going to opt for. But all in all, we've had some really solid Overwatch coming out throughout the day and just solid gameplay from our other various esports. Want to take a quick moment to thank our partners, Hercules Tires, Ready Nutrition, Geico, and Tropicana, for helping make all of this possible for the championships and enabling EGFC to be able to produce all these different esport games across these different channels. So huge props to being able to bring so much diversity to the market.
Yeah, it's always wonderful to have sponsors that come out and support organizations like this and tournaments like this. It really lets people shine in their own right, and to have such powerful partners behind us, it's awesome.
That's right, and Quinnipiac here starting off on the red side as we speak. They've decided to go for that sim strat, just like we had mentioned before, and they are jumping onto the point very quickly. The TP has been deleted by Blob on that Pharah, and he's gonna just be flanking around here, around this outside, looking to try to continue putting in that pepper damage, getting some good work done there in the back line, and is discouraged by Mayonnaise, but he is definitely far enough away to not feel too much pressure with that shotgun spread going down a bit. Blob also now finding that kill from the outside onto Broccoli. That is going to be a great opportunity for St. Peter's to initiate forward, and there it is, another kill coming through, and that is going to be a point cap for St. Peter's.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those common things we see a lot with the Pharah into the Symmetra comps, is Symmetra and the squad get on to the point, take control, cap for the first 14, but Blob and Nacho's able to pound around on the outsides and get a lot of damage, poke damage done until they eventually find that pick to take the point.
We'll have to see if Blob can continue putting in this really good work here. He's got that solid Mercy pocket, very much the enabling factor. And well, if you didn't see her in the assist feed there, it's absolutely apparent that both healers following up to make sure Blob can get the work done in that vulnerable barrage state.
Yeah, and I really like that Nacho's added on the Dragon to really cut off a counter engage that might come out. Because Sid, what could happen there is yeah, the barrage maybe gets 2 to 3, but there could always be a counter engage and you could lose somebody. The Dragon guarantees her safety.
It's tough when you lose a character, especially opening fight. You have to be, San Francisco shock status to come back man down. Grub putting in a lot of pepper damage here on the back, and 2 kills have already come through for St. Peter's University. It's going to be tough for Quinnipiac to continue pushing forward, especially after that last stagger, and more coming through Prepaid.
Yeah, Sid, they're going to have to find maybe a different angle to come at him, and maybe even separate at this point. Try to get somebody on this Pharah to pressure her and Min Min out. Otherwise, you're still going to find yourself in a really hard time. They're going with the McCree, which is great to contest, but you're never going to find enough room. Blob is giving him a chance, though, so maybe they do find that pick with the double hit scan.
At least St. Peter's is, or I'm sorry, at least Quinnipiac is putting in the resources to, try to reinforce their teammates who are struggling with that pharmacy combo. Mayonnaise finding the clip across the way there onto the opposing DPS. Doesn't find any kills off that high noon, but all in all, there's a lot of opportunities coming out. But St. Peter's has decided to come and flip the table. That barrage just once again devastating the members of Quinnipiac.
Yeah, taking a little bit too long to make a decision there. We saw what the idea was, right? Split them up, divide and conquer, get the high noon on the back end. Anna didn't even get to participate right there, but Riggs does a great job stalling out, really keeping Mayonnaise interested. And it just wasn't enough for the high noon on the back end. And as we saw, the barrage comes down and just rips through the whole team. And I love seeing Ferris play that aggressive and have that much confidence to go in. And it does look like we have a bit of a pause going on. We'll get you to know what's going on. But in the meantime, like I said, I love watching Ferris go in and do their thing and not have to worry about whether or not their team's going to cover them, because like I said at the beginning, the dragon was there not to maybe get an extra couple kills, which is what you might think it was for. It's there to protect the Pharah so they can't counter engage on top of her and really trade out that kill and maybe have to waste your res. So what's going on is just so great from Blob and Min Min to see, and then Nachos and everybody, the whole gang coming up and really keeping them safe.
It's pretty interesting to see the exchange of, Dragon to keep your DPS up and alive. That barrage, I mentioned this earlier in my other cast with Tropic, but I would say barrage is one of the most vulnerable ultimates out there, meaning, your character is just a sitting duck, a hard sitting duck when you are in that state, right? Roadhog kind of has a similar effect when he just can only fire. Oh man.
It's almost like you're a floating scarecrow. It's scary to a point, right? If you got enough distance, it's whatever.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, if you're D.Va, you're like, oh, I DM and fly straight at your face, so really not scared at all.
Yeah. D.Vas have no issues worrying about Ferris. They're just flies to swat.
It's just managing how much DM you actually have to eat up all those barrage bullets, right? Or rockets.
Yeah. Rockets. But coming into round 2, and I kind of want to get into this a little bit, and here I think we do get to see a little bit of the replay here, but I want to see if they are going to keep rocking the Pharah, is if that Pharah does keep coming out and having this level of dominance that we're seeing, they're going to have to change up their tactics. And by that, I mean they are going to have to be more decisive in the team fights, as far as not letting this Pharah have time to sit around and build this charge, and at the same time, getting their ultimates online fast enough so that they don't even have to worry about a Pharah. Because I tell you what, if you take out 4 members on the ground, you can handle 2 members on the sky. So I can't wait to see how Quinnipiac deals with this. If that's how you pronounce their name, right, Sid?
Quinnipiac. And,
Quinnipiac.
Missing an eye at the end. There's 3 eyes.
Dang it. I hate messing names up.
Oh, man. That's, it's tough here, especially in this gamer world. If you've noticed, so many people opt to leave vowels out of their names. So nice.
They do.
And easy to read there for us casters. But, we were talking about the hit scan, to combat the Pharah. And, it's easy to take out 2 people in the sky after the 4 ground people are gone. But they've switched over to 2 hit scan characters already, and it seems like that pressure from the sky is a bit overwhelming, to say the least. Yep. I'm wondering if maybe they need some additional help on that hit scan front. Like, they had the Lucio Moira. I don't know if a BAP maybe would help just put a little bit extra pressure in the sky while still giving enough heals for them.
Well, to your point, like it's almost a matter of space, and it was dominated by St. Peter's. Like, they didn't give an inch to breathe, so you could have had 12 hit scans on the field. If you can't shoot the target, it doesn't really matter. So getting them out in the open so they can actually fight back is going to be the big issue here for this, especially on this map where it's so dangerous to be out in the open.
Well, hitting the target, that is definitely a struggle I have many days when I play Overwatch. But right now, we can see that both teams here duking it out on this center area of the point. Firewolf coming out on top with the cleaves, just one after another. The res is successful onto res, right in the middle, in the heart of battle, which is very surprising to me, but he didn't last long, and, well, Quinnipiac takes the first point cap.
Yeah, and Quinnipiac's coming out with a much better strategy now. Yes, you have the hit scan, but you also have the Echo to challenge the skies. And they baited St. Peter's into fighting in close quarters. So good for Reinhardt Zarya. Zarya can help burn down the Pharah Mercy. There are no issues in that tight confined space. But now on the bridge, we are gonna see a battle because it's all on this Pharah and this McCree. Who's gonna win this fight?
It looks like Grub has also warmed up a little bit more and is hitting those shots onto Blob and getting the pressure in. Not enough though, as Blob decides to float around and then pop his barrage once again, finding another kill. Mayonnaise is coming in hot though with that focus beam. Possession is still in favor of Quinnipiac, and well, it may not be long if Blob continues to get this massive amount of value between the kills and the boop for denying the res. It is going to be tough, and no surprise there that Quinnipiac is going to push back and reset.
Yeah, we're gonna see Quinnipiac bail out here, but I'm pretty happy with the 47%. And they should be too. Getting that kind of percentage off of just using one ult, maybe two with the window. You stall out so much time, and then you're gonna come back and all they have is nano, so you bait that nano out, you go in for a dry push, totally fine. You lose that fight, maybe even turn it if you get a nice high noon to come online here pretty quick, which they are getting pretty fast.
Nachos is charging his high noon very fast, actually, and you know, giving Blob a bit of his run for his money on that front too, I would argue. So far, Quinnipiac has opted to, you know, scoot around this outer edge on the far side. They're going into the more enclosed, brawly areas of this point. They're starting to move forward to the center to take ground, and well, now the fight is just going to be a slugfest here in the middle. Nachos taking down the Echo on the edge, but all the tanks are going to be there duking it out and slinging away. The Winston is just booping people around, and he's gonna boop him straight off the map. A very nice turn coming in from St. Peter's.
Oh, I'm so sorry to laugh, but I always think it's so funny seeing such a big, tough Reinhardt getting just booped around and thrown off the map like that. Like a little ragdoll getting thrown off the map. But no, just like what I thought, and I'm glad they didn't invest too many crucial ults. Mayonnaise held on to his, and then you have Broccoli holding on to theirs. So I feel like this is going to be a really, really nice push in. Oh, but the high noon from behind could be massive. It's coming in above. He doesn't find very much, and he does go down for it. Oh, no.
Punished for that, for trying to be too sneaky there on the high noon. We do see that Mayonnaise has popped that duplicate and is trying to charge his own barrage fast enough to actually get some value out of it. He's pumping in the rockets, and now the barrage is online. He decides to unleash it straight there in front of the Winston, but he was mid-res. The damage just pouring straight through him as he isn't quite phased in enough to actually take it. Now, though, he goes down at the hands of Grub. Overtime has been triggered, and right now, Quinnipiac needs to stay on the point if they want to have a chance at staying in this map on Lijiang Tower. They need to leave it all on the court here. Both tanks are stunned for a short time, but looks like they are not able to make it out. Ooh, Blob with a great follow-up there and capitalizing on that opportunity. Nachos does go down though really suddenly, and well, Quinnipiac is still trickling onto the point very, very strong. They have not taken down Blob yet. Oh my gosh, he is just raining from above. Finally, he goes down, and well, it looks like Quinnipiac is going to be able to flip this point. Well, there's still the trickle coming in from St. Peter, so I don't want to speak too soon, but there it is. The cap successful. Grub with another great pick to close it out onto Min Min. He gets slept for it, but absolutely worth it.
Yeah, and before this next fight rolls in, real quick recap. If you want raw healing output, if you want to stay on the point forever, get yourself a Baptiste. 1,000 to 1 for your money on keeping everybody alive. Mercy doing a great job flying around with the Echo. Wonderful stall to get back, everybody to get back and get on the point.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Just a massive amount of work coming in from Quinnipiac to be able to trickle on and flip the point into their favor. Right now, they are doing everything they can to stay in this fight, though. The St. Peter's team is bringing the heat as a couple members of Quinnipiac go down, and Blob, once again, popping the barrage at essentially point-blank range in the faces of Quinnipiac here on the point. That's going to be a flip coming through Prepaid, and, well, no one else is going to be able to... Oh, there it is! Grub spoke too soon once again. Great job coming through. I don't know if they're going to be able to continue this trickle fight phase here. The kill onto the Ana is big, but he does pay for it with his life. The res, of course, coming through from Min Min, and well, overtime now is still on the clock. Amazingly, Quinnipiac is still trickling in and managing to keep the timer going.
That's
That
gonna
was
be
all she wrote, though, as finally they are able to cap this here, and St. Peter's takes this first Lijiang Tower map.
Sid, I don't know if I can blame you for thinking that it's over so many times in a row, and that's where we saw Blob, and this has to be on the first map, right? This one has to be.
This is a sharpshooter. I don't know.
Oh, it is absolutely
Okay.
on the first map. Yeah, this is where that poke damage I'm talking about from the outside. But know how I just talked about the Baptiste? Blob understood who the primary target was, takes Blob out, and that is the turning moment in that entire fight. Everything that happens after that point is just so chaotic, so hard for Quinnipiac to get back to that point in a cohesive fashion, because once you're trickling in and struggling to be there as a team, because that, believe it or not, even though you look at that comp works together so well when they're a cohesive unit, and as soon as one major piece goes down, it unravels very quickly. So
It's definitely a very solid, it's a very strong domino effect, right? As soon as
absolutely.
one tips over, it is so easy to just cascade into one mistake after the next. And
Madness.
that's what really defines, teams apart from each other, and those who are more higher ranking than not, is not necessarily your ability to play perfectly, but also your ability to recover from your mistakes and not let that continue to snowball. Overwatch is easily a snowball game when it comes to, ult economy and resources, but the mental aspect alone is, the less spoken part about what goes on behind the scenes.
Nah,
But
nah.
oh, I was gonna say, I mean, we just finished up Lijiang Tower, right? St. Peter's
Mhm.
University taking a 2-0, pretty clean win there. What do we need to see come through from Quinnipiac to maybe turn this table around and see a bit more of a contest?
Well, I tell you, with Kings Row coming up and
Ooh.
Quinnipiac actually started to look not only competitive, but they started winning some fights. So really what I want to see from them is more of the same. They figured it out in that second round. They started fighting back, and there was no fear anymore. That was gonna be the takeaway from the first round, right? First strategy, Symmetra comes out. We're all sitting there thinking, okay, they got first cap, then they get wiped, and then they never touch again. Second point, I was really worried I was going to see the same, but no, we saw a hell of a round. We saw them come back out, get up to 95%. That means that this team is ready. They should be locked in right now, coming out and ready to swing. Because St. Peter's, yeah, they stole one from you. That's what you should be thinking if you're Quinnipiac right now. They stole one. We weren't ready. We weren't warmed up. Now I want to see them really come out. I want to see a grub. I want to see mayonnaise, and I want to see what they got. So that's kind of what I'm expecting to see. Now, as far as the characters go and the champions, Sid, maybe you can inform me what you've been seeing a lot of.
We've seen a lot of the Reinhardt actually coming out from Firewolf, and the Rein Zarya combo has been extremely popular, just all around from the majority of our teams this evening.
Okay.
This is Kings Row. We saw some snipers earlier. I'm not sure if we're going to continue to see that. This window is so enticing for those attackers to at least try to
Have
shoot a
you
couple of
tried,
shots
Sid?
at.
Have you tried?
I don't know if I'd be an Overwatch player if I said I hadn't. And
That's
yes, I have
fantastic.
absolutely been punished for it, okay? Sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll wait. I'll just wait until, the first few seconds pass, and then I'll peek out and try to take my shot. And then turns out they were thinking the same thing waiting for me. So
Yeah, that's
super
fantastic.
great there. It's not like where they're lobbing it and I'm like, cool. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the full clip. Now they're reloading. Go. It's just
No.
empty window shots for me.
And honestly, the trick with this window trick and what you were just talking about is maybe like taking your time and delaying it a little bit. So everyone out there watching, take your time taking those shots.
Yeah, it doesn't do any good to try to rush your headshot. Just rushes you into missing faster, or missing more if you're me. But
man.
Kings Row here, everybody's favorite hybrid map. Wow, it is going to be Quinnipiac with some really solid opening kills to start off this first push that they had. St. Peter's losing many members one after another, and well, they're going to have to do any kind of regroup. They've been split in the hotel, and if they want to try to, they're not going to be able to recontest. Not after that nasty split. Ooh.
No, they just need to get out of there right now. They are getting run down, and it does look like they are going to get a little bit of a regroup around that corner. No matter how much poke damage they take, Lucio should be able to get them out, but that first point, I told you, Quinnipiac warming up, getting it ready. That's what I wanted to see, and then we got it.
I mean, you calls them like you sees them, don't ya? That, it is a totally different Quinnipiac team than what we saw here on Control. Just a very strong push and pretty much bulldozed St. Peter's straight through their line. Unfortunately, though, Firewolf is getting a little bulldozed himself. Blob is going to be coming around the backside here and, well, does decide to just opt around, be a bit of an aggressor and space taker. Doesn't want to get too close to Grub on that McCree. No one... Doomfist and a flashbang, definitely a rough combo for the Doom, but right now Quinnipiac is deciding to get aggressive. They throw the grab and the Ant Matrix as well. The High Noon is popped to top it all off, and a couple kills are found. St. Peter's University does have a couple DPS to get the kills, but all in all, Quinnipiac is just taking the cake here with this fight. Ooh, left and right, and that's a solid cleanup.
I was gonna say that Firewolf was getting a little bit too lone wolfy, but team comes in and cleans it up. That's kind of what I was talking about with Quinnipiac. I want to see more of the same, but more decisive. We saw that fight right there. They got the grab out. Now we should see the grab dragon combo from St. Peter's coming out here pretty soon. Here it comes.
Oh, the
right
dragons
here.
do come out as well. There's both of them being thrown back and forth. Min pops their sound barrier as well to continue keeping St. Peter's alive and super hardy. They're deleting members of Quinnipiac as they retreat away. Just a hard-charged Zarya. Not a lot of escape opportunity.
And what a shot there at the end. But yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. Expected loss really right there. You have the grab dragon combo. You use your grab to win that first fight. But this buys you space in this really, really tight choke that you just have to get through. And because the card is pressed so far forward, you could always send somebody to backdoor it. So they honestly can't play the choke like they want to, as we see them backing off right now, Sid.
We'll have to see what they do when they want to come up here around this corner as well. Quinnipiac doesn't have tons of ultimates online, and well, now the Dragons are just going to tear through their teams, giving them a bit of separation. Looks like they're going to be able to regroup successfully as Grub manages to find the kill onto the opposing Zarya. Oh, but their main tank is going to go down, and losing a shield might be tough for this next fight coming in. Now back and forth a bit here as Quinnipiac decides not to give up. They're pulling out ahead now as more and more kills are starting to come through in their favor. They just gotta land that. There it is. Last shot to polish off these low health characters and roll the payload up to the second checkpoint.
Quinnipiac, where you been all my life? Ooh, who needs a grab dragon combo when you've got the grab high noon combo? Puts them on such low health they can't even fight back even through the MO. And these have been fantastic MOs on both sides. Big shout outs to both the BAPs, honestly. But where has this been? This is such a turnaround, and I can't wait to see more. Honestly, Sid, I'm so excited.
St. Peter's and Quinnipiac both have that Shatter online. We're gonna see a bit of a dancing Reinhardt jig coming through. Oh, but not so much dancing from Quinnipiac as they have all been laid on the ground from St. Peter's. Really great job coming through there, and the cleanup is strong. Nachos, though, does get taken down himself as Grub is putting in a lot of work on that McCree. Not gonna be quite enough, though, to keep pushing against the spawn advantage.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say I even hate that fight. They got almost every ult they really needed to out of St. Peter's. Quinnipiac is going to have to find themselves a nice dragon here and then follow up with maybe the beat unless they want to use it defensively. But I'm always in the camp of offense is greater than defense, so get out there and go get it. So I want to see that sound barrier used aggressively.
I mean, the best offense is a good, or the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah,
when you gotta force the opponent to keep scoring and keep pressing their own W key. Members of Quinnipiac did fall very low. Broccoli keeping them all topped off, though, as they do kite back a bit to regroup and refresh those health pools just a dash. Gonna be waiting for that next engagement here as they poke around the corner, trying to see who can actually create an advantage. The grab is thrown though from St. Peter's. There's the engagement coming through. The Feast of Dragons trying to find more kills on top of it as DPS from St. Peter's putting in just absolute work. And while I say DPS, I'm gonna totally include Baptiste in that as well.
Yep, and now the next fight all falls on Min and Rig's shoulders. They just won the fight with Grab Dragon. Now it's on them to stop the loss here. And this is where we get to see which team is a little bit more clean on their execution. Is Quinnipiac gonna find that clean Grab Dragon where they don't have to worry about the ammo? But the beat could always save them, so this is gonna be kind of iffy. This corner's tough to play around.
Quinnipiac almost has all six ultimates online for themselves to utilize, so gonna need to see a lot of good rotation and, you know, being conservative, not popping all 6 Qs or triangles all at once. St. Peter's shut down that most recent push very swiftly though with that Earthshatter.
Honestly, Quinnipiac really needs to get back to their decisive ways. They have 6 ultimates. Use 2 or 3 of them and then start rotating your ults to win the game. If they blow them all at once, they'll win that first fight. They'll get good progression, but they won't win. They have to rotate them right now.
Oh, Blob gets a really nice dynamite there, getting a lot of members of Quinnipiac crispy. The Dragons, though, once again from St. Peter's doing a lot of work, and all in all, the DPS from St. Peter's just doing a horde of work. Another great dynamite as well. Oh man, St. Peter's University just crazy pressure coming in from those DPS guys.
Yeah, the DPS absolutely doing their job perfectly, but I mean the main focus here is they still held on to their sound barrier, and there's 60 seconds left. Cookie and Mins, they're holding on to him. I honestly hope it's for the biggest play of their lives right now, because this is going to be really tough for Quinnipiac to push in, especially with Ash with Bob on the high ground.
Oh man, and Mayonnaise has been picked off early. It is going to be really tough now for Quinnipiac. They've been reinforced with that sound barrier, but 36 seconds left, and they are going to continue duking it out here on the point. Earthshatter is thrown by POV, and well, now members of Quinnipiac are just retreating back. There's only 24 seconds left. I don't know if they're gonna be able to have a very strong recontest after that.
They can get back, as long as no one gets picked here, they can definitely get a nice fight off with Grav, win that fight, build into a dragon and a window. So this could go extremely well.
Oh, and the Lucio! Cookie wins the Lucio duel. Oh man, and well, there's the Earthshatter coming through from Fireworth, dropping many members of St. Peter's down. Right now, St. Peter's though is coming out on top, losing a couple, winning the fight and killing a couple members off of Quinnipiac. Broccoli just burned into a crisp there. Poor guy didn't quite have enough left in the health pool. Grub pops his high noon, and well, it is an overtime fight now as Quinnipiac is trickling on there, trying to continue doing that fantastic stall game we've seen them do. It is just Tracer zipping around for her life. Finally, she's taken down by the Bob, by no one nonetheless.
Bob, nonetheless, you're right. I am so sorry, everyone. I was looking at St. Peter's, and if I would have realized who I was looking at, I could have told you from the outright that this was probably going to be their 3rd-point hold, because they had Bob coming up. They still had their beat. I mean, they had everything. They had Shatter coming. I mean, they had just it all going for them. And what a turnaround. St. Peter's getting pushed all the way to 3rd, 4 minutes on the clock. And they held. And they held on the 2nd corner, which is one of the tougher ones to hold on. If you get beat on the first like they did, it is extremely tough to regroup as fast as they did to hold that 2nd corner. But they got their DPS in the right position. They got a really nice wombo combo off with Grab Dragon. And then from there, we saw Quinnipiac. Oh, what is their name, Sid?
Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac. We saw Quinnipiac go back kind of to their first round on Lijiang, where they're a little bit indecisive. They don't know what ults they want to use and when. I do like how, if we watch them through Streets phase, Sid, they used their grab before they even had Dragon so they could win that fight outright. That's what I want to see. I want to see them be decisive.
I think that Quinnipiac is also maybe looking too much for that picture-perfect play. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
myself kind of struggle with this as a player, right? The right thing to do most frequently sometimes is to wait and, wombo combo with your team.
Yeah.
And making those judgment calls to throw it and take this space early on is not always the easiest. Right now, when there's a whole lot of hectic other Overwatch things going on. Oh, wow. That is a
Nachos.
huge ouchie for Quinnipiac here on this first point hold. They're going to have to back off and retreat and hope that their Mercy can rejoin the fight a little bit in time to give them any kind of support. It is just Broccoli going to be trying to keep everyone alive, and they're going to retreat back around into the hotel. They're going to cut off from their Mercy as well as they're walking back, and well, a couple exchanges do go back and forth now. It is madness on the point as POV does get the pin onto the opposing Reinhardt. He was super low, but that bubble comes through, saving him and keeping him alive by the nick of his teeth. Cookie, though, is back into the fight here for Quinnipiac, trying to give that reinforcement up there on the high ground, but points being capped to Mercy. Min doing some work on the back with the pistol, trying to put the pressure on the high ground as well and get that kill on the fellow Mercy. Oh, but it's stolen by her teammate Rez, which, it's fine. Not really stolen, just helped by Rez.
What's that, a little supportal combat for anybody? You know what I mean? But we saw the two supports get up there and just bully that Widow. I feel so bad for Nachos. Opens the round, and that Mercy was getting that revenge. She was coming back. She's not having it, I tell you what. That's a Mercy that fights back, and I love it.
It's definitely personal when you start the fight off that way. Ooh, man. And there's a whole pride aspect too. Got to get that back and redeem yourself a bit. Right now, St. Peter's, though, trying to continue pushing forward and contesting the second checkpoint and getting just to be able to move forward and push it, taking the space from Quinnipiac.
Yeah. Wee woo, wee woo. Here comes a really charged Ryan, but no, and we just see Nachos really taking it easy, popping those sights for his teammates. This is one of those times where Quinnipiac needs to back off, regroup, get your DPS in the right position, and then come back with a really strong ult. That's a big opening pick right there. Oh, and it's not going to go well for Quinnipiac unless they get this res off. They need to get this res to recontest, and they are going to get it. So we are going to see them recontest here.
I don't know if they're even going to be able to touch in time, though. The cart is quickly approaching. There it is, 4.5 meters. Whew! Man, a stressful skin of your teeth amount, but these guys are used to that type of pressure and that slim amount of chance. Unfortunately, though, they aren't able to continue pushing it, and Quinnipiac stems the bleeding that St. Peter's was causing.
Yeah, they did stem the bleeding, but at what cost? 4 ults down, and yes, you did stop them from second point, and honestly, I think it's worth it. But you got to think about your future fights now. What value is May going to bring on this second final, like the second part of this final point? Is she going to be able to get that wall that she needs to separate one of these tanks? It hasn't happened yet, and I don't know if it will.
Nachos getting another opening pick. Oof. Man, being a man down and your DPS nonetheless is going to be a tough for Quinnipiac. Now the res has come through successfully for St. Peter's, and well, members of Quinnipiac are grouped up in that grab. After that, it is easy cleaving and easy cleanup for Bob to take him out.
Honestly, St. Peter's completely understands what to do with every single grab they've thrown. They've made the right, every player has made the right decision. As far as patience goes, that Piova, he did not sit there and wait, or he didn't charge right in right away. He waited until he had a clear view of that Reinhardt. I love seeing the patience come out from this team.
Quinnipiac is going to have to change some things up if they want to prevent this last touch here on the victory box for the payload. The opposing Reinhardt was taken out of this fight very early, so St. Peter's has opted to give some ground and try to regroup a bit. Now they're going to really have to do that with Blob and Rez going down.
I mean, I think what St. Peter's is trying to do here is just have a decisive final fight with Nanoblade along with the Mercy Pocket on him. I feel like it's kind of memey a little bit, is you swapped off of what was working into a Genji, but that being said, it is very good into the comp that they're running right now, so he could get a lot of value out of the Nanoblade. There's not a lot of defensive ults.
Nachos decides to open up the fight, sending out the Dragon Strike to move through the middle of the payload area. Blizzard is thrown from Quinnipiac onto the payload itself now, zoning out members. And, well, left and right, there are so many things being duked out here. The Reinhardts are going at it. Kills being exchanged back and forth, and well, oh, Corey Trevor is so low. Thankfully, he gets a little bit more heals and then is moving around. Min Min gets the successful res onto Nachos as well, and well, quite frankly, St. Peter's University is still trying to continue pushing this point forward. There's still plenty of time on the clock for them to reset, and we'll try to have a little bit more coordinated push after that last one.
Absolutely, and they got all of the ults that would stop a Nanoblade, and here it comes! Nanoblade's gonna come out, he's gonna be patient with it. He's gonna find the first, can he find the next two? He's gonna find one more, and that's gonna be it, but the damage is already done. The immortality is a little too late, and I think that's gonna be it, Sid. I think they're gonna push this one to a nice little victory here.
Yeah, no one left on Quinnipiac to try to stall and recontest as the payload is just gonna move on forward here. They are running back, and well, the ball, of course, is able to touch at just the very last moment. A huge earth shatter dropping so many people onto the ground. Quinnipiac having to kiss the pavement after that.
I gotta give them a small golf clap for how they played that. Like I said, they don't have defensive ults. So when you get the Grav out, when you get the Shatter out, it's one of those things where Genji just gets to kind of take his time. He doesn't have to do the flashy, quick 380s and 69 20s. No, he can sit there and he can choose his targets. And I tell you what, he chose the right target at the right time. Found the Mercy, goes over, starts putting damage on the tanks. There is no BAP to slow him down. It's one of those times where you actually get to see a really intelligent play in a really calm situation, even though the time is running out. So I just feel like St. Peter's had it all working in full motion. And Quinnipiac's, oh man, tongue twister.
You nailed it.
Quinnipiac, they had the game plan. It's just unfortunate they had to use the Grav to get the res on the Rhine. If they didn't have to do that, I think they still had a shot at slowing that Nanoblade down. So unfortunate there at the end, but honestly, I loved what I saw from Quinnipiac. They brought it back, and they impressed me, honestly.
Definitely a much better fight than we saw on that control map. You know, it's a little bit lackluster in my opinion, but their push on this King's Row phase was just very, very solid in my opinion. Obviously wasn't quite enough to seal the deal on the victory side, but I personally think that with a little bit more focus fire and just, you keep talking about that decisiveness, and I think that's absolutely the key, is they need to be on the same page with what the plan of action is, right, and how they want to engage. So I am really hoping that they continue to step it up and evolve through this next match, and you know, maybe evolve to be strong enough to get that reverse sweep.
Absolutely, and the reverse sweep is so possible because, like you just mentioned, and what I've been saying this whole time, decisiveness comes in the form of one person saying this is happening, and I hope we get the reverse sweep so we can maybe talk and find out who the decision maker is for Quinnipiac. Because if they could just make that really hard commitment, and it's hard when you have a Grav Dragon to sacrifice one side of that combo in order to get that team fight win, but as we saw, it's necessary. If they would have waited to do their Grav Dragon combo on second phase of Streets, they would have lost that game maybe even harder than they did, because you use that Grav early. As we saw, St. Peter's was waiting for their combo. They were more than happy to sit back and chill. No, you have to bring the fight to them, because as we've seen, St. Peter's is more than happy to wait for the Wombo combos, and they are better at executing them. So I think Quinnipiac has to come with some surprises.
That makes a lot of sense to me as far as the, you know, surprise factor too. It's definitely going to be important that they continue to keep St. Peter's on their toes. Otherwise, St. Peter's is just going to fall into a bit of complacency, and you know, that might actually be a good opportunity for Quinnipiac to actually pounce on, right? We've seen what happens when teams become complacent in Overwatch, and in one fight, boom, it can all snowball away from you so quickly after that. But
Hmm.
we're going to be moving over to 2CP next, right? So that's everybody's
Ooh.
favorite map type. We're going over to Hanamura.
Hanamura.
So got that tight alleyway to squeeze through, at least to get to the first point if you're the attackers. I'm
Yeah.
curious what they're gonna bring as far as a team comp, and what if they'll continue, using that brawl style that we saw. We've seen some really solid Reinhardt dances from both sides.
Absolutely. And we've seen what St. Peter's is all about. I feel like we're gonna see more of the same from Winnipeg. They probably might run the Ryan and Zarya and all that stuff, but I think St. Peter's might be feeling themselves a little bit, which this might be a trap round. This might be a trap map for them. They're feeling real good. They're up 2-0. They might get a little bit cocky. Torb might come out, little Genji. Maybe we see some Widow. Who knows? We saw Nachos on the Widow earlier, and that's one of those times where when you pick Widow on that first point, you have to be feeling very confident that you're going to hit those shots. And he was. He was. I told you, that Torb's coming out. They are feeling themselves. They want it. They want it, but they want to do it in style.
I mean, when you're talking about style and a Torbjorn is in the mix, everybody's going for the style hammer kill. The meme, the what is it? The bragging rights and the bucket list check off. Torb hammer kill while live.
I do make it sound like a meme, Sid, but I mean honestly, Torb is very good on this, especially paired with an Ashe Mercy. You got a lot of kill potential and a lot of crossfire potential, but I honestly, this team feels more of like a symmetric counter, because when they all it's a symmetric counters this team very well because they all teleport on point and there is no crossfire in that small room. So
right.
This could be very good for Winnipeg. They could have a really strong round here.
That would be a great opportunity for them. They are going to be scoped out very quickly though, as their Hammond on Nachos decides to roll around through. Looks like we did actually also have a little bit of a change up on role selection for who is doing what here. Nacho's now on that Hammond and tank lineup. Members of St. Peter's just flooding onto the point though, and well, taken down members of Quinnipiac left and right. They tried to get on there and well, didn't quite have the success they were hoping for during that setup and with those turrets.
Yeah, ironically, not so much of a crossfire as a full frontal assault. They were both just in front of the whole team and they killed them all. So maybe I'm just wrong, and I can accept that in my life because what plays from Blob and Rez, amazing.
I mean, St. Peter's is doing a great job here defending so far. They dropped the mines too, further discouraging Quinnipiac from being able to push forward through that choke. Just a lot of that area sealed off, preventing them from continuing to move forward. The turret on that high ground, scoping people out and putting in that pepper damage. Looks like Quinnipiac is going to move around here to this high ground, try to get some rotation in and create an advantage for themselves. They TP straight over and decide to opt around for the side, and now they're looking to get set up. The turret's been taken out of place, and well, now it is all Quinnipiac's opportunity to continue to try to cap this point here. They have flooded onto it. They're trying to fight that Bob, and well, also the Roadhog on top of it. Oh, he gets booped off mid-freeze. Really great job there. Just swung off with the hammer. A little bit of baseball coming out in the Overwatch match. Right now, though, St. Peter's just able to continue holding down the fort and flip the fight that Quinnipiac had that advantage for initially.
Honestly, I didn't want to see Grub swap off because this is as we saw, the turret was almost completely ineffective. Really, it's the Ashe Mercy combo that's really giving him a lot of trouble right now, but the comp itself was very good into it. Ball's gonna roll through again, already has another Mines, get caught out a little bit, he is gonna go down. Big pick to start that out. This is gonna open the door for him.
St. Peter's, oh, but Quinnipiac loses their own tank as well. Oh man, I thought that was going to be a really solid opportunity for them to push, but with the Zarya gone, a lot of damage has been removed from their potential, and well, they've opted to retreat back a little bit while they wait. Hammond has come back much faster for St. Peter's University, and sitting on the ground, Nanode is going to be a tough position. Quinnipiac is reinforced by their own sound barrier as everyone is going to continue trying to move forward to take this point here. Blob raining some bullets from above on this high ground, not even being contested. And, well, St. Peter's University just getting the kills one after another after that.
Yeah, This is one of those times where individual performances are shining through so hard. Blob on Ash with the min pocketing him is making this so impossible for them to walk through the point without losing one. And again, this comes down to the decisiveness. They are not just going, they are too busy trying to stop ball. Someone's trying to contest high ground, someone's trying to walk through. So it's just one of those times. This might be the committal that they need.
Oh, the grab is thrown right before Corey Trevor goes down, and a couple members are exchanged back and forth between the two teams. Grub is free firing through this amp matrix here in the hallway, and now Rez has popped their molten core to top it off. Gonna be really rough for Quinnipiac to try to run through that and gain any ground onto the point. And Blob, holy smokes, just continuing to put in a massive amount of work here from this high ground, both DPS being uncontested between the turret and the Ash.
Yeah, that was an incredibly impressive round from the side of St. Peter's. That being said, it's one of those things where if you have such a discrepancy in the topography, as you like to say, of someone always being on high ground and you're never able to get them off. And the reason that that is so impressive is they didn't allow them to even walk through the choke, let alone contest high ground. The one time they tried it, it was an immediately chaotic fight where it came down to individual skill and teamwork was out the window. So it's one of those things where you just kind of have to evaluate it with the eye test. And the eye test was is Blob was free firing and he wasn't missing.
He may as well have been a turret. He was just up there shooting away, hitting the shots, pew pew pew, no problemo there. And if he got a little pressured, you know what he did? Jumped back just the like 3 in-game feet, and let the turret take the pressure and start shooting and take a moment of pressure off of him so he can come back and resume his own turret-esque position up on the high ground.
See, Sid, I knew you were going to know exactly what I was talking about. You got it. Now, Quinnipiac, I honestly would love to see them just copy the same team comp. Maybe they're not practiced on it, but I would love to see it anyway.
Well, it looks like we're gonna get that Bastion composition coming out here from Mayonnaise. So a lot of just straight up melting potential if you can actually hit the shots, right? Which looks like it's gonna be no problemo for Mayonnaise, taking down that Hammond very, very early. The shield is gonna be there, and hopefully he does not get hooked. That could be so devastating if Riggs actually manages to pull him that far out of position to the choke of death, essentially. Choke hold and death. Choke hold of death. Okay.
My prediction here is that they are going to try this one time, St. Peter's. If it doesn't work, we are going to see immediate swaps come out. But they do have the Hanzo. They are going to rock for the Genji blade. Oh no, they don't have any defensive. All they have is Immo. So this could get extremely risque. He's going to have to build up that flux. Corey Trevor's going to have to build up that flux to protect against that blade.
Blade can be so devastating, and the hook is good. Oh man, he doesn't find the kill off of it, but definitely gonna be quite the heart pounder for that person. Thankfully, their team is there to pump resources into them and keep them alive. The shields are out for Quinnipiac, and well, they're trying to mitigate some of that damage. Not gonna be enough as the Baptiste goes down for them, and another kill coming through. Oh man, it's looking rough as Quinnipiac has members being lost. Coming back a little bit though in favor of themselves with the Bastion tank mode and the Boulder coming through very well. I don't know if it's going to be enough because Riggs is going to loop around this side here. It is just the 2 tanks and the Bastion on the point. Oh no. Riggs is looking for the supports to walk by him, and they walked right by him behind him, and he didn't even see them. He missed his opportunity right there. Not well, they were too sneaky and not aware enough on his front. The flux is coming through though, and well, members of St. Peter's are popping their own ultimates with Blob, finding massive value on that blade. Not too surprising there, as he was reinforced by his Ana, and well, now they're still just pumping in the damage into Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac has to switch over to faster characters to try to stall out this last point, but St. Peter's only needs a little under half a tick here to actually cap this point and win and take the series. Tracer's gonna try to do her best to zip on. Oh, wasn't quite enough though. He missed it by the skin of his teeth.
Oh, Sid, that was so close to getting that recontest in, but that's one of those individual plays I was talking about, and we're gonna get to see Blob sit here and just free fire on everyone here. Let's just take in a minute of this gorgeous play, not even being looked at. Like, this is what DPS dream of. Anybody watching tanks, supports, this is it. This is what DPS want in their lives, is just to sit there and shoot. So let your DPS shine, baby. Let them shine. But back to the main point is, that's Riggs individually getting through the choke, wrapping around high ground, and causing such distress for the Bastion. The entire team rotates off high ground through the point, and in the midst of that rotation, it allows the rest of the team to walk through. And from that point on, you no longer have a phalanx. You don't have a way to keep them away. Now they're in your face, and from there we saw what happened. It just turned chaotic, and BAP getting hooked in started it all off, and that was the show. Like, you had to burn ammo right away.
I talked about how that hook coming in onto the Bastion could be, super devastating for Quinnipiac, but any hook onto a heal and onto a support is going to be devastating for that team. That's just general Overwatch blanket statement for you there. And a great opening pick coming out for St. Peter's. I mean, I'd like to think that maybe if I had the same type of space and room that their DPS had, I would, hit more of my shots too. But I'm really impressed with, the teamwork that came through in enabling that type of gameplay. It's not often that you actually are enabled by your team to be able to just rain down from above.
Absolutely. And Quinnipiac, congratulations on making it this far. And personally, I'm very impressed with not only your individual skill, but the way you guys turned it around in the second map, from the second round of first map all the way until the end. Very impressed with how much more teamwork we got to see out of you guys. And honestly, I'm sad you didn't pull out the full hold on first point, but hell of a performance. And I don't think you should walk away with this with your heads held down. Matter of fact, I would want to see you back here in the semis the next time around, so we can see that teamwork grow even more. And to St. Peter's, my goodness, the finals is going to be a banger. That's all I could say.
Pretty much, yeah. For lack of a better statement, it's going to be popping off. We're going to see some really high ranking and high tier Overwatch. To, reiterate, in case maybe some people don't remember from the beginning, EGFC is the governing body for Division 1 varsity esports, right? So these guys here are the top of the tier, cream of the crop, essentially. These are the ones you're going to have your eyes on for, who's coming up and who you might see appearing in the pros sometime soon.
Absolutely.
It does look like we're going to have POV, the tank, coming in from St. Peter's as our interviewee. So, folks, we are going to get that set up for you real quick. In the meantime, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a moment with POV from our St. Peter's winners.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain. And we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We have POV from St. Peter's University here with us, joining us for a fantastic interview. POV, congratulations on your win here in the semifinals. Looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to bring going into the finals. Tell us a little bit about your mindset for today and what's been going on throughout, your multiple games today.
So, we've been communicating a lot recently, trying to figure out the right lineup. We have a lot of new guys this year, and so we're trying to just see where everyone fits in. But today we came out great. We played with a lot of confidence, and we just ended up executing.
Very
Absolutely,
cool.
you executed.
Yeah, I would say you guys executed to an extremely high level.
On
Um,
point.
I do want to transition a little bit though, because one thing I've always found very interesting is the life of a college athlete. And I know that schedules can be hectic. Tell me a little bit about your day-to-day schedule, or maybe even your guys' scrim schedule, and what it's like to be a college athlete, you know?
So yeah, it's definitely time consuming. I'm a senior right now, so I'm trying to finish up all my classes. I have some major papers coming up, and our team captain Isaiah, he's done a really good job of scheduling everyone and making sure everyone can make it on practice on time. And yeah, it's just all about time management and making sure that everyone's ready to go when the time comes.
I mean, that's actually pretty nice to hear that they give you guys enough time to not only get your work done, but then, get to be able to do Overwatch. So that's pretty cool.
hmm
What inspired you or pushed you into, deciding to actually join a collegiate esports team? Esports is more on the up and coming scene as far as development in comparison to traditional sports. And yeah, like give us an insight as to what your journey was and why you wanted to, join St. Peter's esports team.
So the esports team is relatively new. I think we started about 2 years ago. But our school's been pushing pretty hard to get us some equipment, and so that we can establish ourselves as a competitive team. But it's been really fun. We get a lot of encouragement from our coaches, from the staff of St. Peter's, and so it really pushes us to play really good every time.
Nice. Do you think that being together in the college life all at once with your teammates gives you any synergy edge in comparison to maybe just like a, thrown together league or maybe a team you've joined before college?
No, definitely. I think it's been a lot more difficult with with COVID and everything, but because sometimes we had students using the gaming room at our school if they didn't have a PC at home, but everyone's been making out, and so uh, we've been doing pretty well, and it definitely helped us when we first arrived at the school and we had the esports team there. Um, yeah, just well, right now we're trying to just get better at our togetherness and stuff like that during COVID and stuff. So
Totally. Well, it seems like you guys have a really good, back end support system for each other, and your team captain is killing it, being able to enable you all and
always.
work and coordinate.
Always.
Coordinating's its own challenge, man.
Absolutely. And one more question in anticipation for the finals. We saw a lot of stomping going on, today from both sides. And
Yeah.
obviously, I mentioned earlier it's going to be a banger in the finals. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like it's going to be super competitive, or are we feeling a stompy stomp coming on? Is that what's about to happen?
Well, we expect to go out there and compete, and we never want to go in there with the mindset that it's going to be easy. So
Right.
we just always think that our games are going to be competitive, and that's how we play every time.
I love that. I love that.
That's
There's mutual respect. That's awesome.
honestly, I would say that's the type of mindset that any top ranking or top tier competitive team needs to have, right? You don't want to be stooping down to a level. You want to be setting that expectation and that really high bar that, we've been seeing you guys bring to the table. So, once again, really big props on that
Thank you
front.
so much. Thank you.
Yeah. To wrap up here, we're going to ask you, of course, what is there anyone you would want to shout out or give thanks to? Send the love their way. The floor is absolutely yours, POV.
Okay, of course. And it always goes to my main man, Goon Man. Everyone knows him. He's a carry of our team, so we always gotta shout out Goon Man.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Nice.
That's
And what
amazing.
role does Goon Man play? Can we ask a follow-up on that?
Goodman recently he's been playing tank, but today we had him on our DPS, and he's been doing really well. So he's always consistent and he always shows up. So and he's really fun to play with.
We definitely
Nice.
saw him riding high today, so that was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that was really cool.
Great. Well,
Alright.
congratulations again on your victory here in the semifinals. We wish you the
Thank you.
best of luck in the finals, which I don't know if you're going to need it after the performance we saw, but
Thank you.
like we said, best of luck to you.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you.
so
Really
much for being
appreciate
here.
it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, folks, that is going to be wrapping up the Overwatch aspect of the EGFC League casting that we have. We are going to be moving on into the Super Smash Bros. Tournament, though, and their championship been going on. So don't go anywhere. There's going to be more coming up. Prepaid and I are going to kick it over to Septilence and Soy for the Super Smash Tournament. So you'll get to enjoy their very awesome casting after that.
Absolutely.
And and one last big thank you. Of course, we cannot forget our wonderful partners for once again making all of this happen and bringing such a huge variety of different esports to the EGFC League, right? We've got Super Smash, we've got Rocket League, we've got Overwatch, and we have League of Legends. So really hitting a lot of those big names of, esports and what the community wants to see. Hercules Tire, Ready Nutrition, Geico, and Tropicana. So thank you so much for, bringing this together. It's been a fantastic production, and there is so much esports in store for all of you folks continuing on. That is going to wrap up our show for the day.